In today's video, we're going to be building floors 3 through 4 of Tower of Music Theory Mayhem, Ring 3's Soul Crushing Tower. And there are 5 music theory concepts we're going to be going over. And they are key signatures, scales, repeat signs, intervals, and chords. But before we get to that, I'd like to mention what I built off camera, which was the rest of floor 2. I built a little bit at the start of last video, or at the end of last video, I mean. Okay, so basically what you do on floor 2 is you see this note names chart thing. Over here you have a note name quiz. So you have to jump on C, G, D. Also at the end of floor 2 there's this cool jump pad section. I thought I may as well show it. I used angled jump pads since they do that now. Then at the start of floor 3, which I've already built, there's another note names quiz until you jump to here at the end of that. And speaking of which, I did do some testing to make these sections work properly. I got the spacing and timing exact. Okay, so I just spent 2 hours building this next half floor. Maybe it wasn't that long, but anyway. There's a bunch of signs here that explain this next concept. Good job, you've passed the note names quiz. Every song uses one of 15 key signatures, each of which is named after a note. For example, C major. The word major is written there because there is a major and minor that's not correct grammar. The word major is written there because there is a major and minor key for all 15. And also it's actually only 12 key signatures because some of them are just different ways of writing the same thing. The key signature can change during the song, technically as often as every measure, but that's never really the case. Each floor of the tower from now on has a key signature and you'll be told of at the start of it. For this floor, it's G major, or E minor. G major / E minor has one sharp in it, and that's F sharp. So now blue platforms will represent a specific note, and if it's F, then it's a sharp platform. Still keep a lookout for accidentals, though. Now, there was a comment on the previous Tower of Music Theory Mayhem that had this idea. I had already had that planned, though. However, there were a lot of great ideas from this comment, and one of those is the repeat signs, so that's going to be the next thing we're going to do. Actually, no, it's not. Never mind. The next thing is scales. So basically, you want to look at every platform, or every one of the notes here. So this one is D. It's not F, therefore it's not sharp, but this one still is. And then this one, there's also accidentals, so right there it's B flat, and that stays in effect for the whole measure. So on other B's, such as this one, it's still flat, and also F's are sharp. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do for scales. I wrote scales will be represented by staircases, and you'll have to know the key signatures to know which ones are sharp / flat as you go up the staircases. That's what I wrote in my little plan thing for this whole tower. Let's see, for G major scale, well, hold on, we should start with just a normal platform, shouldn't we? Like this. Normal wasn't really the word I was looking for. Anyway, it would be each scale has 7 degrees, so that's just each note of the scale. So it would be G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and then you can also add the octave, which is just this one again. The question is, how do I make this gameplay, though? Okay, here's what I kind of came up with. It's not really that interesting gameplay, but I guess it kind of explains it. I don't really know of a better way to do this. But basically, each key gets its name from the scale that can be made using the notes of that key signature. For example, G major is called that because using the notes of that key signature, you can make a G major scale, which you'll see up ahead. Major scales follow this pattern of steps. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step. Intervals and steps are discussed more on floor 4. But you jump down here and you can see this is supposed to follow those steps. And each step is 3 studs because each half step is 3 studs. Each step is 6 studs. And the reason a half step is 3 studs is because for sharp and flat platforms, you raise or lower the note by a half step, which we say is 3 studs. So that makes the most sense here. So you can see there is a whole step, half step, whole step, half step. And yes, those are the actual intervals in between the notes. Minor scales follow a different pattern of steps. This is not it, I just copy pasted this. However, I did change the notes to the notes of the E minor scale, which is the relative minor of G major. You can either think of it as a major scale, but it starts on the 6th note, so E is the 6th note, which would be this one, of G major. Or you can think of it of the E major scale, which is what this is currently representing, other than the fact that the key signature would be wrong. But then you flatten the 3rd, 5th, and 6th notes. So now it's a minor scale correctly. The pattern here is whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. Okay, so basically floor 4 is intervals and chords. And so intervals and steps, they're not exactly the same. A step is an interval. It's a major second. That's like another word for it. And a half step is a minor second, or an augmented unison. It can also be called that. But the intervals we're going to be doing on side A is major third, perfect fourth, major second, minor second, tritone, and perfect octave. And we're going to have a section for each of those representing the mood / sound of each interval. So starting with a major third, which sounds like this. At some point, I would like to put like a music part thing that'll just play the interval or chord on the second half of this when you step on it. I'll look into that and see if there's already a sound effect that is like working or uploaded by Roblox or something. Audio update moment. You know, I didn't really mention the actual background music I'm going to use in this tower. I'm not even really going to worry about it too much. I've officially lost hope that I'm going to be able to set audios to public anytime soon. When I eventually can, I'm probably just going to use some of my songs here. Like, it's not really gonna be an OST because like I didn't make it specifically for this tower. In fact, it's probably better if I just leave there as no music, because that way you at least have the default Obby Creator background music and not just dead silence while you're playing. Alright, so I feel like this is probably going to be the length of each section up to like from here to here, and then I'm going to take some advanced tools parts to change some effects to help set the mood. So since a major third is like a bright sound, I guess it should be daytime like this, to set the time to noon. And let's use this depth of field thing. So I set depth enabled true, and I set this to the lowest it can go, which is 10. I think that looks cool. This is the first time I've ever used this effect, really, mainly because I just couldn't figure out how to get it to work, even though this is pretty simple. For the minor third, this is going to be the effects. So we have the ones over there, and I changed the daytime to 0, and I changed the lighting effect to black and white. This is what a minor third sounds like, by the way. Now I'm pretty much just going to repeat this for the rest of the floor with the chords that I said earlier, or the intervals, I mean, and then the chords. And by the way, the chords are in this order: major triad, minor triad, diminished triad, sus4 triad, sus2 triad, augmented triad, dominant seventh, major seventh. Also, yes, there are triads that are called sus4 and sus2. I'm not kidding, they're actually called that. It's short for suspended. Okay, so I think that's going to be where I end, like, what I build at the moment. So off camera, I'm going to finish the rest of floor 4 and also floor 5. But the last thing I want to do is repeat signs. So in music, a repeat sign means you go back and play an indicated section, and that's pretty much exactly what we're going to be doing here. But I don't think anyone wants to play the exact same section of parkour 2 times in a row, so we're going to make it so the section is buffed a little bit when you redo it. Let's see, let's have it so you go back to the start of floor 3, well, I guess more like the end of floor 2, to this point. Okay, so this is what repeat signs look like. Well, the one at the end of sections, like, that you would want to repeat. So the dots go to the left. Since this is on the opposite side of the floor, we can actually just, we don't have to rotate it at all. But yes, at the start, it goes to the right. For now, the player would probably think this is just like decoration or something, but they will come back to it over here. Okay, I seem to have actually gotten that to work. This modify effects thing, like, sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't. It's weird, but at the moment it seems to actually be working correctly for what I want to do. So I'm gonna delete that and replace it with a teleport pad. So the teleporter will send you to right here, and there's gonna be a button here that will deactivate things and actually also activate things, because that's how I'm gonna make the parkour be buffed the second time. So it will deactivate the sign and the teleporter and also this wall. So when you go over here, those go away, including the text, hopefully. Yep. And then I need to add the buffs to this section, and then I'll make those be activated by another button that'll go right here. And then the second time through, you'll just continue on. Okay, I think I got it working, so I'll just test it now. So jump to the sign to do the repeated section. Okay, those things activate. So you would do the section just with the new changes here until you make your way back here. But this time you can keep going. Okay, I was worried the teleporter might still teleport you, but it doesn't. That's good. So now it's time to play floors 3 through 4, start to finish, except not actually the end of floor 4, but like as much as I've built. Here's the app ID if you want to come play this. So floor 2 ends with these jump pads, and then you have these wall hops. Then you do the note names quiz thingy, well, the second one, and so from here then you jump to here. And then here you're supposed to do kind of a backwards ladder flick thing. I already read this earlier and it took like an entire minute, so I'm not going to read that again, but it explains the key signatures. Also, pretend I didn't just walk off the platform there. When you reach the repeat sign, you jump to that sign, like, not repeat sign, but like the actual text. And then you want to jump there, and then here you got a wall hop. Okay, then here you can use alignment if you want. It would make it easier, or it should. There we go. And then this one is can collide true. You kind of have to pay attention to what it's telling you to know the platform that's can collide true or not, and how you should do the parkour. And then this ladder thing with the backwards ladder flick is different this time. You gotta go on this side. Honestly, it's like really annoying, so this should maybe make it a little easier. There we go. Also, there's a wraparound this time. And then from here back to here, it's exactly the same. Now you can jump here, and this says key signatures stay in effect until specified otherwise, which in this tower is every floor. Thus, this platform is still sharp even though we're in another measure. This sign is can collide true. So you jump to the sign, and then to here, and then see this B flat accidental? That means that for the rest of the measure, all B notes are flat. Now, normally this would actually be the same color, like it would be black, but it's just easier to see if it's white, so that's why I did that. And you need to get to 2 buttons from here. So there's 1. Okay, here there's another wall hop you gotta do to get to the green button. And once you press those, you want to make your way back to here, and then up this tightrope onto this platform. And then these arrows indicate you go back this way, where there's now a green truss that takes you here. On this play the rhythm thing, like I said, I got this, like, the timing exact. And also on this one and the one down here, there's these things you can use to make these completely invisible if you want to try and get the timing. But there will be a few more before, like, it's required that they're invisible. Also, there are quarter rests here, which means you don't play for a beat. So when you walk across this white line, a metronome click should happen to get the timing started. And then you gotta really precisely press it. Like, see, that would mess it up, because I kind of went into climbing animation, which would make me go behind. Okay, wasn't supposed to press space that first time, but it's fine. There. So you can make it if you press it like pretty much in perfect sync with the metronome. Press space, that is. And it's a very narrow window of time you have to press it, so it is kind of difficult, but this is a soul-crushing tower after all. And then there's this scale thingy. So there's the G major scale, and then you do that kind of wraparound thing, and then this is the E minor scale. And then you're on floor 4. Welcome to floor 4. This is a 2-side floor where half of it is about intervals and the other half is about chords. Safety nets not included. So the previous floor mentioned steps and half steps. On a piano keyboard, a half step is the very next note, black or white. A whole step, aka just a step, is 2 half steps. So basically, an interval is a distance between 2 notes. This half of the floor consists of sections representing the mood/sound of various intervals. That is, if you played the 2 notes simultaneously, starting with a major third, or 4 half steps. Like I said, it sounds like this. The key signature on this floor is F major/D minor, which has a single flat, and that's B flat. So this major third section is just a few jumps, and then this push box thing. There we go. The next interval is a minor third, or 3 half steps. And you have a few jumps, and then this is the end for the time being. So, like I said, I'll add more. Thanks for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to leave a like and consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next video, and have a great day.